Welcome back, awesome Action Toy fans and subscribers. We are Tuesday, the 19th of November 2024, and it's a Joytoy Corvus Belli Infinity Day. These came today. These are the Jing, it looks like. And we have 7 of them to get through. Jing Invincibles, Missile Launcher, Jing Invincibles, Wu Ming Assault Corp, Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry, Shang-Chi Invincibles, and another Wu Ming Assault Corp there. So 7 things to get through in this review. It's going to be quite long. Do check out the video description for the timestamps, or just look at the bottom below where it's got the little segments when you on the scroll bar for how far in the video you're going, and it'll give you the name, or name will pop up for which part it is. These look great. I'm worried how they're going to be in hand, but judging by the photos and some of the articulation, we can see the poses are in. It looks like it's quite promising, and I've been looking forward to these from when I saw them. Now, I said the same thing about the latest batch of Sorrow Expeditionary Forces, who look fantastic, but the articulation is like has been sacrificed too much for the look. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Let's get a look at the boxes. So this is the Yu Hao Invincibles with Missile Launcher. Looks pretty damn nice. Very cool. Might be slightly bigger than normal. It's got a size on there. It doesn't say the size. Okay, let's put them. I'll take them out as I do them, so I've got space. Okay. Since we're doing the Yu Hao, any more of these ones? I think that's the only one who is the Yan Hao, sorry. Any more Yan Hao? No, no, oh, no. Okay, so let's do the Invincibles next. There are 3 of those. So Shang-Chi Invincibles 1. Looks pretty good. Oh, comes a nice little sword, it looks like, as well. Shang-Chi Invincibles 2. A bit more light than that. That's a bit better. A bit of glare, but that looks really good. Again, give me that sword. Get the angle so I don't get too much glare. Very cool. And number 3. Again, it looks like you can hold that rocket launcher quite nicely, but at an angle, not straight. Or is it a laser cannon or something? But it does look good. Let's do the Wu Ming Assault Corps. So we have 1. First of all, this is the guy about the helmet, and he looks fantastic, actually. Quite like that about the helmet. Looks very nice. And no helmeted head from what I can see. Number 2. Again, looking pretty good. And then the last one is the Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry. Or Cavalry, sorry. Why is it called Cavalry? There's no... As they come to the rescue, there's no something we can ride. But it looks like it is going to be a armoured wolf, or a wolf in armour of some sort. That's interesting. We will see. Does look nice, and those claws a bit like lightning claws on 40k. Very, very nice. Okay, I'm going to unbox these and set them up. I'll be back in an instant. Stay tuned. Wow, that was a lot of unboxing and setting up. So, first impressions. They look absolutely fantastic, but not all that glitters is gold. There are some issues, and you know it's going to be. Articulation in places, gun design in other places, and so on. We'll look at that as we go along. So, first of all, accessories all come with a clear round plastic base. It's a bigger base for the Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry, because it's a lot bigger figure, and he's actually got metal joints. So that's really quite nice. All the smaller figures, so these 4 and these 2, come with 4 additional pairs of hands. So they come with gripping stroke trigger. They come with 2 pairs of open hands. Sorry, gripping hands they come with. 2 pairs of trigger hands. Oops, don't throw those away. Another 2 pair of gripping hands. And the almost obligatory now, a pair of fists. Our next 2 guys both come with 2 pistols. And look at those a bit later. One of them looks like this. The other one I've got in the other guy's hand. And this guy also comes with a long gun like this. And one of my issues is every single gun has got a bar like that. which makes it much harder for the figure to hold it. And they're a bit wide in places, so it's quite difficult to grip with 2 hands. This guy, he's also got the same pistol as well. That these guys have the same pistols, and these guys have a sword. You can see the sword in his hand there. Our wolf guy, he comes with additional hands, gripping hands. Otherwise, you get the sort of claw hands here, which look pretty damn nice. But if you've got those, you can't grip. And if you change the gripping hand, you lose the claws. And then lastly, our assault corps, the Wu Ming. They come with 2 different knives. This is one of the knives here. The other one is a silver knife there. They both come with pistols, which we'll see a bit later. And this guy comes with 2 guns. The one he's holding there and another one there. And we'll see the gun he's holding when we do the close-up in a second. Please consider joining the Patreon. Link in the top right of your screen now. Get to see all the videos as soon as they're published. As soon as they're uploaded on online before they're published on YouTube. Exclusive content from time to time and prize draws from time to time too, including one happening at the end of this month, November 2024. So do check that out. It's free for 7 days, no obligation to continue with the joins. It is worth doing that. Okay, so let's bring in them for a closer look. So first we'll do our Jing. This is the Yan Hao Invincibles missile launcher, who I think is probably the best of the bunch at the moment from my quick play. Great big, let's say missile launchers. Doesn't look like a missile launcher. Where's the ammo? I guess inside these little drums here, which don't turn obviously. 2 missile launchers. These nice little tubing pipes. He holds them quite nicely. Looks pretty good. This similar sort of underarmor we saw with the, was it Panosiana figures, the Knights, I think. He looks nice. The backpack doesn't come off. The guns you probably can, the missile launchers you probably can take off. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And he's got these huge feet, so he's actually he's quite stable, very stable. He has to be that sort of extra weight on his back. If I change his hands over, he'd actually grip onto those handles a lot easier. Very cool. Okay, let's move on to our Shang-Chi Invincibles, number 1. Bit of a struggle for him to hold that, but he can. Just about. So the other pistol is the one that fits inside the holster. It's a slightly smaller one here, which is pretty cool. The holsters are nice. They're chunky, they're big, and you can clip in like so. And the swords all fit in the sheaths. The scabbards, very good. These aren't meant to come out, but one of mine was out in a box. You can just slot it back in, so you can take them out. I like the green on the back there, looks pretty good. Chunky, but they like to fall backwards because there's a lot of top heavy weight on them. Number 2, you see he's got the sword there. And that is a pretty nice sword, has to be said. Not sure about the head sculpt. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty cool. Number 3 has got a sort of over the shoulder cannon there. We can just about do it over his shoulder, despite having those big spike things sticking out his back, whatever they are. Again, slightly unusual head, but it's pretty cool. Do like that. And then we come to, stay focused. We come to the big guy, the Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry. It's actually a man inside a suit that looks like a wolf. Judging by the little arms there that come out. Guess that's the controller. There's no way to see inside that I can see. That looks pretty good. You can see the metal joints you can see inside there. Also the wrist, the ankles. And the gun has a little tube that goes into there. But it's not the easiest gun to hold, but it does look pretty good. It's like a flamethrower, obviously. Just feels like they should have painted this stuff silver as well. but they haven't, which is a bit of a shame. Or they should have what's the word? Cast it, done the plastic, the injection molding in a silver plastic. Then we come to our last two. Ooh, don't fall backwards. Fortunately, I've only got a first show articulation on 1, 2, and 4 of them. So our last two, and that's our Wu Ming Assault Core. So number 1, the guy without the mask. So that's the first knife I was talking about there. His gun looks great, but he can't hold it properly. They got that crossbar as well, and the stock's too long for him to hold it properly. It's just like they should have really made the gun around the figure to fit in with the figure. I mean, it might have changed the proportions of the mini from the game, but at least it would have held it far more nicely. But nice looking figure. His tubing is not attached to his neck there, which is a really nice thing to do the articulation. And then our last one is number 2. Number 2. So this gun is probably slightly better to hold, but how's he going to get his hands around that? That's way too big. Even if I take one of the big open hands from wrong one from the other guy, it's the same hands. Would that hold that? Maybe. Well, I'll tell a lie, it probably would, but you'd have to get it across there. Yeah, he could hold that. If I had to articulate the arm into place, he could probably hold that with 2 hands. And what's great about him is when you move his head, you're going to get that nice movement with the tubing, which looks great. They all look absolutely fantastic. But the issues with the guns then, a bit top heavy in places, it kind of detracts away from how good they are. Okay, articulation. So we'll start off with our missile launcher guy, our Yan Hao, it looks like. Yan Hao Invisible's missile launcher guy. So top to bottom, our guns do turn left and right. And they do go, where is it? Here we go. From here, up. Get to focus properly. And they will go down, but not very far. That's it. So it's not a close combat. Missile launcher. Obviously, don't have missile launcher in close combat anyway. Then his head. Left, right, sort of up and down. Not bad. And side to side. Let's take these out his hands. These are actually joined to the top of the upper arm. So shoulders. A Polgen is going to limit articulation not a lot. Really quite bad on the outwards, but this guy doesn't really need it if he's holding those controllers. No shoulder roll that I can see. Shoulders are quite interesting, right, the way it works. It would go all the way around, but the missiles would get in the way. Then bicep bend, he gets about 90 degrees, which is impressive for how chunky his arms are. Then it's the same Warhammer system on the wrists with a ball joint to all directions. Trunk, there is a turn, there is a small forwards backwards, and there is a good side to side. Waist, is there a waist? Doesn't seem to move much on the waist, so forwards, there's a little bit in the waist. Forwards, backwards, side to side, and turn. Hips, better than I was expecting, to be fair, not too ugly. Forwards is terrible, backwards is pretty bad too, but again, this guy doesn't really need it. There's a thigh turn, it's a double kneecap, but he's really, oh, that's so stiff there. He's really chunky, so you're lucky to get almost 90 degrees. Feet, swivel in, swivel out, there's no turn. Gets a tippy toe, there's no toe articulation, and not really much of a dorsiflexation, a little dorsiflexation. I think I'll be in favour of getting a couple more of these just to chop and change parts around. Okay, let's go to our Shang-Chi Invincibles. I will use, which one? Choose this guy because he's the easiest to take the weapon off, only the one thing. I'll keep the sword on that side. So these things don't actually move, but this is the one that came out. You can see just a little slot in there. Nothing broke, fortunately. Just loosen the box. I didn't glue it particularly tightly. Let's get it back in again. Okay. So, I see that a bit low. So articulation. There's a left and a right, which is pretty good. There's a side to side. There's an up and down. Again, shoulders. The pauldrons are getting away on this, on all the way around. Doesn't go all the way around. Lateral raise. You are getting about 90 on this one, which is pretty good. Biceps again is around about 90. Hands again is on the ball joint. Trunk forwards, backwards, side to side turn is good. Waist you can turn side to side, forwards, backwards. Together. Backwards is not bad. Forwards the sword will get in the way a little bit, but it's okay. Sideways together is pretty good. Hips, not great. Forwards is not great. Backwards is really small. Thigh twist. Double kneecap. Again, he's a chunky boy. He's getting quite a limited bend. Again, not even 90. They could have actually designed it a bit better to get slightly more range of motion. Feet, swivel in, swivel out. Tippy toe and a dorsiflexation. Next to our wolf boy, number 3. A lot more to show on him. Hey, stand up. Why do you want to fall over for now? Here you go. Okay, let's get this guy up again. Never mind. Okay, so our wolf boy here. Head, the whole neck section moves as well. So you've got the neck section moving, which I can actually almost take out there. You can see underneath if you want. That's like a rubbery thing. We can look underneath there how that works. Let me get a focus. So that whole piece there will move as well. And his head will move up, down, turn, and then sort of side to side. Shoulders all the way around. There is a shoulder roll. Lateral raise. It's the same sort of system you see in the Terminators in Warhammer. So you can move the pauldron. He's getting about flat, not quite. There's a bicep swivel. There's a single joint for the biceps. He gets 90. Was it a double joint? Let's have a look. And I've just broken that part off. It's a double joint. I didn't break it, sorry. I unattached it. Still getting around about 90. The actual gun plugs in separately, hence why I just dropped out then. Because when you change hands over, you've got to plug it in if you want to have that plugged in. Wrists are on a ball, and you can see the metal joint there. Just bear in mind, when you've got this part on the back, which they've missed a bit of paint where it's joined, that you get a less range of motion with this shoulder because the pauldron keeps clashing into it. Okay, so these arms. Lateral raise, not very. All the way around, yeah, sort of at an angle. Bicep bend, around 90. And again, you've got the ball joint in there. He also comes with alternate fists for these little hands there. Trunk. There's no separate trunk, so waist and trunk is forwards, backwards, side to side is great and turn. Hips, they're expected. Forwards is pretty good. Backwards is pretty good. That's very impressive. But bear in mind, I can pull the hips down and push them up slightly with this as well. That's why. There's a thigh twist. You've got your double kneecap here. Then get a great range of motion. Then you've got your foot, so you get the ankle, sorry, you get the tippy toe. Dorsiflexation, twist in and out like that. I'm going to make him as tall as I can, so I'll do the measurement to get an idea of actually how big he is. So I'm going to put his hips put his hips down. Let me just quickly plug his waist back into his body again. I'm not sure that's meant to come out, but there we go. Let's get him to balance. Okay. Get his arm down. I think I prefer him without the gun. Looks better with the claws, if you ask me. I think it'd be nicer if those arms weren't there, or if there was another head you could see for the figure inside. Is that supposed to go in and twist and lock? Because it's not twisting and locking for me. And there's no click when I put it in. It just sort of goes in. Oh, I did push that quite a bit, so let's see. Nope, that's going to keep popping out. I will ask him about this, see what they say, but there's no lock for that. It should stay in place. Then last one to show, because it'll be the same on both of these pretty much. I use this guy because I like the way his tubing is hanging. It makes for a nicer sort of look when you do the head articulation. So head articulation, left and right, up and down, side and side to side is really good actually. Arms all the way around, lateral raise, pauldron's getting away, so he's getting around just over 45 degrees in each one. No separate bicep swivel, but he does get 90 degrees in the biceps, which is good, and he's got that same system with the ball joint on the wrists. Trunk, forwards, backwards is good, side to side is good, he can turn. Waist, forwards, backwards, side to side and turn, so together with hips, your guys can get a decent sitting position, not quite 90 degrees, but actually pretty good in 90 degrees. Sideways is pretty impressive, and sideways is impressive, and backwards is pretty impressive too. Thigh cut, double kneecap, and he's getting slightly over 90 degrees, which is good. Then feet, there's no turn on the feet. We get the swivel in, swivel out, and you get the tippy toe, and a pretty decent dorsiflexation, to be fair. Okay, now I need to pose these guys, or rather get them a bit more upright for a few of them for the measurements. So our wolf guy's done. Let's make sure our guys are standing up. We've got to do our missile launcher guy as well, just to make sure, because he's slightly different in size to the others. And then we can do a comparison afterwards with some other figures, get an idea of how they look and how they scale with some other figures. Okay, everyone's in shot. We've got a focus going on. Let's go for size. So our missile launcher guy first, top of the head and top of the actual figure where the missile launchers are. He is coming in at 11. About 11.3, 11.4 cm, which is about just around about 4.5 inches top of the figure. To the actual top of the missiles, he's about almost 5.25. He's about 13.5, 13.3 cm. To our invincibles, they are about 10.5 to top of the head, which is about which is around about 4.25 in, no, not even 4.25, slightly in the 4.25 inches. Top of the actual figure is around about 11, which is just over or just under 4.5 inches. Our wolf guy, I'll go top of the head here. You can see is about 6.5 inches, around about 16.5 cm. Actual top of the figure is that red whatever thing, energy pack, whatever on the top for his gun. Top of that, if I go behind, get a slightly better look, is looking at just over 7 inches, around about 17.5 cm. And our last guys, again, they are around 11 cm, around 4.25 inches. Okay, comparison time. I'm going to remove some figures. I'll remove this one here, and I remove 2 of these guys here, just so we have space to compare. First up, we use more Infinity, one of the first and one of the greatest releases from Infinity. Need a lot more space for this. Can't remember their name. Blah 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 and Sergeant, was it Druk? He's the big wolf guy. How does our mecha wolf compare to our real werewolf? Yeah, he doesn't compare. And let's put our partner to the big werewolf, the big wolf there. See how they compare. That wolf is massive. Big difference. Link for that will be in the top right if I didn't put it already. Next up, how do we compare with an Acid Rain World figure and use different lines? Because people keep saying use different lines and the same line and different. And we see they scale very well. They're slightly more chunky in this Acid Rain World figure, but obviously they're more heavily armored and probably better weapons too, you'd imagine. If I use my Fortnite aim custom, because he's a great figure and he's a robot. And Fortnite actually have some fantastic figures. You see that they scale well with that. And then lastly, how to do this? Can I fit this anymore? I'll take these 2 out, I think. And then what I'll do is I'll move this one down here. I use a Horus Heresy Space Wolf. And you can see the Space Wolf is far more chunky, far more heavily armored, and far bigger. Apart from the Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry and the big wolf guy there. A nice bunch of figures. I do like them. Not perfect. I think there should have been slightly more time spent with, making sure articulation is spot on. Being honest, I'm a bit of a sucker for articulation. But I do like things like the fact that the swords actually fit inside the scabbards. I think they look fantastic. The colour scheme works well. I just kind of wish that the articulation of all of them was fantastic. But you know what? And the guns didn't have these damn bars across all the time and everything. Because that, for me, just really makes it hard for figures to hold their weapons. Okay, this is Awesome Action Toys. I'm signing out saying please like, share, subscribe. Check out the Patreon if you've not done so already. I'll see you next video very, very soon. Stay happy, keep collecting. Bye-bye.